All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mommy Feeding Family. We are just having lunch like we normally do in these videos. I think I missed another week or so. Things are getting exciting, ready for our move. So we move in 2 weeks out to Southern California. We did get a house in San Clemente area. We're really excited about that, to be able to move and to be able to move right into a house. So we have a beach view. It looks beautiful. We're on a big hill, so things look really exciting. So we're just really excited about our move again in like 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. So starting packing and all that fun stuff. So if you guys have been on my live videos in this group, kind of how these work, we're just chilling, having lunch, and I am going to share some tips with you guys, ask questions, let me know who's on, where you guys are from, and I also love to know how old your kids are so that I can tailor some of the information towards your guys' age and your kids. So use this group for a resource for yourselves. Ask questions, ask for advice, ask for recipes, share tips, share recipes, share family-friendly things. Love that. So just please use this group as your resource too. So Tegan today for lunch has beans. Share what she has today. She has just some plain white beans. She has some chopped up frozen blueberries, and she has some cucumbers. And I think she had a few pieces of cheese that are gone already. And Bella's lunch, can I show them your lunch? Okay. Bella is almost 3. She had some beans also. She already ate her blueberries. She has cucumbers, and you have cheese too?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, and Bella has her cheese, and she just finished painting, so we have all of our paint stuff out over there. So, okay, so my topic today that I want to cover with you guys is the topic of gut health with our kids. So if you have any questions specifically, just let me know, and I'll be happy to answer them. And hopefully that this information will help you guys with making sure your kids are on the right track, as well as ourselves and our gut health. Because we found more and more research linking gut health to all areas of health. It really is called the second brain for a reason too, with how it affects our mood and our brain health. So if you guys want, I can share other resources on gut health too. So just let me know what you guys want, and I'll be happy to share those resources for you guys. So as I kind of do these videos, I usually just kind of feed them while we're going. So thanks for understanding that this is just so real and really how we just do life here in this crazy house. So, okay, gut health and kids. So we really just want to try to set our kids up for success, right? And I mean, there are times and there are circumstances that are beyond our control, but we as parents and as moms have control of what comes into our house. And we are usually the ones doing the buying, doing the shopping, doing the cooking for what our family's eating. And that's the whole reason behind Mommy Feeding Family and Mommy Feeding Family 2.0 in the program. So that's the whole reason behind this, is to empower you guys to make sure that you know that you are in control and that you have options and that you don't have to just serve mac and cheese. And she's just throwing everything right now. So first thing is to reduce inflammatory foods in your kids' diet. Will help with their gut health. So many of you I know are in diet beta test, so you're so familiar with inflammatory foods and foods that cause inflammation. Well, it starts at a young age. So make sure that when you are thinking about inflammatory foods for ourselves, things like processed foods, sugar, inflammatory oils, what we're cooking with. If you guys saw that new recent article that was published by the American Heart Association, where they talked about coconut oil and saturated fat, I did a recent Facebook post and a blog post about that, where you can see what I feel like is true on that topic. And then also some comments were asked about, well, what type of oil should I be cooking with? And if you're right now cooking with like regular vegetable oil, or if you're sauteing at high temperatures with your olive oil, you really want to be cooking at high temperature, some of the sauteing with avocado oil, coconut oil, real butter, grass-fed butter, or ghee. And then if you're just roasting something like at I think less than 350 degrees, you can use something like olive oil for roasting your vegetables so that it doesn't cause oxidation in the oils, which then is highly inflammatory. And so with kids, we want to make sure that we are cutting down on sugar in particular. So we've talked about sugar in depth in this group, with how to cut down on sugar with kids, sugary snacks. So I'm just going to leave it at sugar, and you guys know what that is and in your kids' diet and where that's coming from probably. Number 2 is to get outside and stop obsessing about everything being so sanitary. And this is such maybe a first mom thing. Maybe it's all moms do it. But what else do you want? Cut your blues. And so stop sanitizing everything and let kids get some of that good bacteria. Most of the bleach and the Lysol's clean the good and the bad off surfaces or off wherever. And when it does kill the good and the bad, then we're left with just sanitized areas. And there's definitely a place for bleach and Lysol because trust me, we have it. But I'm just saying we don't always need to be using hand sanitizers every time we come inside or every time we do anything. I think using that type of stuff, like, you know, when after you've used raw meat, get rid of the salmonella on your kitchen tables or kitchen counters or in your sink is important. I think using that type of stuff, like hand sanitizer when you're coming out of maybe like a ball pit or something like that where your kid has been, you know, kids haven't had their feet on or their shoes on or socks on and that type of germs, I would probably use hand sanitizer after something like that. But just regularly coming inside and outside of the house, and every time we wash our hands with antibacterial soap, those types of things kill off the good bacteria too, right? To kill off the good bacteria. So we use just regular baby wipes, which aren't sanitizing. For a lot of times, just wiping off some dirt and grime, but I know they're not killing off the good bacteria. And then being outside in different environments. So I didn't really think of this until recently, how maybe lucky my kids are that when we move again, Bella, by the time she's 3, and Tegan, by the time she's 1, they will have lived in, well, Bella 1 extra house. This will be Tegan's 3rd state that she's lived in this next move. So I just think about the climates and the bacteria and the differences between the different bacteria that was in Savannah, Georgia, and that humid climate, and then the different bacteria that are here in Arizona, this dry heat and this dry climate, and up in the mountains when we go hiking, the different bacteria she's exposed to, and then even the different bacteria that we're moving to California, we're going to be on a beach again in a different environment, and when we go up to the city, and just letting them sometimes be barefoot, letting them get exposed to those bacteria, and bacteria will live everywhere on us. They live in our nose, our eyes, our ears, on our hands, just on our skin. And so just not being super sanitary, but being clean. I'm all for clean. So there's a big difference there in my opinion. But just making sure that your kids are exposed to those different types of bacteria. And if you have an opportunity to get them exposed to different types of environments, that's even better too. What? Hey, can she have... oh, you already ate all yours. Let's find where this cheese is hiding. And, where did your cheese go, Tegan? I don't know either. Oh. Number 3 is, now some of you are past this point, but I just want to mention it because I know some of you are pregnant or some of you are going to be trying for another kid. Is during pregnancy or hoping to be pregnancy, the amount of bacteria and the difference that could go into the gut health then. So there's research that shows that... What? You want to get out? Probably you come sit with me. We know that kids... Now, I'm not saying this stuff to offend anyone about vaginal or C-section or breastfeeding or not. I'm just stating the facts about science, and we know that kids who are born via vaginal delivery and who are breastfed... Hey, Bella. I'm talking. Can you play with your guys quiet? Have more bacteria in their gut, and that bacteria has been shown beneficial. So if you have a choice, now I completely understand that we don't always have a choice, and I'm an advocate for mommy health as much as I am for breastfeeding, and mommy staying sane, mommy sanity, as much as I am for breastfeeding. And so you guys know that about me, that I do believe that breastfeeding and having a vaginal delivery is healthiest for a baby, but those types of situations are not always possible, and not always, sometimes we have a plan in place too for what we want to have happen, and it doesn't always happen. And so this isn't to guilt trip anybody, I'm just stating the facts. And so some of these other things I'm talking about can help those kids who maybe didn't have vaginal...
Excuse me.
Yes?
I need more cheese.
You get more cheese after our video?
No.
Okay. So we know that some of these factors I'm talking about today can really help kids, especially if they were breastfed or vaginal delivery. And so this is just important to know moving forward. And then again, if you are pregnant or if you are planning on becoming pregnant, really scientifically what a difference it does make, so that you're aware of it and you know of it. I just think it's really important. So Don't worry if it wasn't how you planned out. I think there are a lot of things that we can do moving forward. Okay, then limiting the use of antibiotics. So we as moms, I feel like want to feel like we're doing something at all times that we can. So sometimes it feels like, well, let's just go see if they can get on antibiotics because then I'll feel like I'm doing something. Maybe that's just me, I don't know, but I hear that from a lot of moms too. Well, at least I feel like I'm doing something if I can give them something. And there's a lot of reasons why antibiotics shouldn't be used and why they should be used. And again, I'm a fan of modern medicine. I'm a fan of modern technology. I'm a fan of antibiotics when they're needed. But we know that antibiotics are overused and overprescribed in this country. And a lot of that's just pressure from parents feeling like they want to do something or pressure from other outside sources. So I think there are a lot of natural remedies for reasons when kids may commonly need them. And I'll share a link. I have a good link for when antibiotics are needed and when they're not that I can share with you guys that you may find helpful. So like one thing for common reason that I always see is ear infections. And there are some natural remedies for ear infections or for prevention of ear infections early on, like different ways of holding the bottle, different ways of not putting the baby to bed with a bottle, alternating sides when feeding, alternating sides even when bottle feeding, different things like that. And the chiropractic care can help with kids who are more prone to ear infections. And antibiotics are usually used in those cases. Now, when antibiotics are used, I would recommend a course of probiotics during and afterwards. So, two brands that I recommend for probiotics for kids are the Cultural brand and, what's that one that I showed? Mommy Bliss. So those ones, they say the three terms for the bacteria that you need in a probiotic. And so I know Cultural has a good one and Mommy Bliss have a good one. It'll say like Lactobacillus RR. So it has the RR, the genome, like the actual strain of it, and it's labeled. So those ones would definitely be recommended when your kid is taking a course of antibiotics and to be doing probiotics at the same time and then recovering with some probiotics after a course of antibiotics. Same thing for adults too. To make sure you're refeeding and you're replenishing some of those bacteria sources. And let's see, the fifth one is to use probiotics sparingly during regular day-to-day life, but I would highly emphasize fermented foods regularly in your kids' diet. So fermented foods and natural sources of probiotics would be like the whole fat yogurt, which we've talked about with low sugar, but it must say in there contains live active cultures. In order to make sure that there is actually in fact cultures, the probiotics, when we are consuming it, because there's a difference between probiotics when it comes on the shelf and what a manufacturer puts in it and what we actually consume by the time it gets to our fridge, it gets to our mouth, because they're live things, so some of them die off. And that's why too, sometimes they have like 100 billion probiotics in this one supplement, and you're like, that seems like a lot, but really by the time you consume it, most of the time you're not consuming all those because some of them have died. So to use probiotics sparingly, I think in our kids' regular, just in regular life. And so for me, for example, Tegan I stopped breastfeeding around 9 months, and then maybe like 3 days a week I put some probiotics, some of that Mommy Bliss into her formula. Bella, I didn't worry about at all. Neither of them have ever had any rounds of antibiotics, luckily, so I don't really stress about it, and we don't have any issues with GI, with constipation or diarrhea on a regular basis. But when she was sick a few times, we did also pour a few drops of the Mommy Bliss probiotics into some of her water after she had a round of diarrhea. And then just on regular day-to-day basis, we have yogurt pretty often. And then I'm trying to get them used to the taste of some different fermented foods. So I bought on Amazon, and I'm going to review some of the tastes before I share them. There's some odd flavors of, that's what she's doing right now, of probiotics on Amazon that you can get and look for cultured products. Hey Bella, can you wait 2 minutes? And we'll get our cheese. We're almost done. Okay? And kombucha. So Bella has some of my kombucha from time to time, and I usually pour it, I dilute it in a cup of water. She gets maybe that much, and then the rest water. So it just kind of tastes like a fruity juice to her. It's a little sparkling. And at first she didn't like it. Now she likes having a little bit of my kombucha, my juice. We just call it a juice. So those are some of the naturally fermented foods, and we haven't experimented, honestly, with different things like kimchi or sauerkraut with the girls. I just do more of like the prebiotic sources. So we do a lot of natural foods that have prebiotics, or like bananas and different fruits and vegetables. Fibers are prebiotics, and then the probiotics feed on those fibers. So it's important that those things are in your kids' diet regularly. So I think that's what I wanted to cover. My 5 ways to increase your kids' gut health and to improve your kids' gut health. Hopefully this is helpful. If you have questions, let me know. And we are going to see what's up with this one and probably get that one some more cheese for lunch. So any questions, comment below, and let me know what you guys would like to see as some topics for discussion later on. This seems to be a common one that I was getting questions on regarding probiotics and such, so I wanted to address that here. So anyways, hope you guys all have a great day, and we are going to start packing this weekend and getting ready for our big move. So everybody talk soon. Bye guys.